Mule Slingshot. So here I am making a Mule Slingshot. I used a Mule Slingshot template and I cut out a 1/4 inch thick sheet of aluminum on a bandsaw, as well as 2 1/4 inch thick sheets of micarta. I then moved along to a table sander and I removed all the sharp edges. So I then took the 2 scales and the template and proceeded to drill holes. I used a hand drill, however that left the pinholes crooked. So I decided to buy some new tools. I bought an oscillating spindle sander and a standalone drill press. So I started to tinker with those a little bit and figure out how they work. Once I did that, I bored out the holes that I did with the hand drill with a bigger drill bit on the drill press. I then cut out 2 spacers and I scored all the lines on the spacers, the scales, and the template. I then glued it all together. Here's a panoramic shot. So it was then time to remove the clamps once the epoxy was dry. So I cut off the excess pins. And it was then time to sand it all down. So I sanded the edges. Once the edges were sanded, I sanded the surface. And then it was time to hand sand it. I had actually hand sanded out throughout the entire process of making this slingshot. After which I decided to give it a little more character. And I added some slot attachments. So I used my bandsaw for this process and it worked great. So once that was all done, that needed sanding too. I then decided to buff the tubed pins with an oscillating tool and the buffer bits. So I will show you which buffer bits to use. In case you don't know, those are them. And it was then time to buff the rest of it. So I don't have a buffer, but I did buy a buffer for the drill press. And it works okay. Here it is finished. Hope you enjoyed the video.